So I'm having a chat with a couple of members of Blind Channel. How are you guys?
Oh,
Awesome.
good.
Good, great to hear. So we've been playing a new single of yours called Die Another Day. Tell us a little bit about the single, first of all.
Um, Die Another Day. It's a single from the upcoming album Exit Emotions that comes out on this Friday, actually, March 1st. And the first demo of the song is pretty old. Like I found it from the old hard drive. Uh, that I wrote this first version of the song back in 2018. It was called "This World Is Gonna Fuck You Up" demo, and I showed it to the guys. The guys loved it. It's not traditional type of blind channel song. It's more like easygoing, and it's like this ballad kind of song. But we felt that there was like a special message in the song, and then like we met Rory on this songwriting trip to London to work with Dan Lancaster, and Rory was there as well. And we just loved her style of making music and her own music, so we asked her to like be a part of the song, and she really completed the song with us. That's like long story short, that's the end of the day.
Yeah, and what was it about this song that you thought Rory would be a fantastic artist to have on with you on it?
There's two reasons. First is that we wanted to have a female feature for the first time. We never had that, and this time we were super sure that we need to have someone in. And the second was that we wanted it to be native speaker, not from Finland or Germany. It needed to be an English native speaker. So Rory was the closest and most natural call for us, and we just sent her a DM, and we were like, "Yeah, hell yeah, let's do it."
Nice, nice. And as mentioned, that is off your new record coming out on the 1st of March called Exit Emotions. How does this record sound in comparison to your previous records?
It's definitely a bit heavier. I know Die Another Day might not be the best example of that, but it's a bit heavier sounding record, and then like it's inspired. It's like this is the first album we approach from a live perspective because between this album and the previous album we did like 240 shows or something like that. So we were always on stages, and that kind of inspired the songwriting process. And so we wanted to capture that raw live energy on the album, and I think we really did. I also think it's a bit more like international sounding record because like in the songwriting process of this album, we left Finland and we went to Berlin, then we went to London, and eventually we went to Los Angeles to work with the local music industry people like songwriters, producers, all that. So I think the outcome is a very internationally sounding rock record.
Nice. And the sound that you've created with this record, was it the plan to create the sound that's now come out, or is it simply how it turned out in the studio?
There's many steps for that. I guess the first key was that it was summer 2022. We were playing in Wacken open air. We were opening the main stage, and surprisingly, there was like 15 to 20,000 people in the end of the set, and we were like, "This is something new for us because we never done a international metal or rock festival for that big audience." So we felt that okay, this is something we need to aim for with the new music. So we kind of realized that instead of being in the Finland and being all in Europe, like this mainstream pop rock band, we need to create brand new sound, brand new album that sounds more heavy, so we can have the mosh pitch. We can play the main stages of all the big metal festivals in Europe and in America, and maybe in Australia in the future as well. So that was the main key for how we ended up doing heavier record than before.
Yeah, nice. And speaking of playing live, you've got a couple of shows in America and then Europe and then over to here. I bet you can't wait to be doing some live shows again.
Yeah, it feels good to like finally get back on tour. We've had like this, it's not even been like a long break, but a couple months break. Now, and I think also the important thing is that even though we did like over 200 shows after the last album, right now it's super cool to like have a new set list. And like I said, we approached the songwriting of the new album from a live perspective. So I feel like um people really should come and check out like these songs in the environment that they were created to be performed in. And that's why it feels so cool to have a new set list, lots of new songs, lots of new like production. Everything feels bigger now than before, so it's really great to finally be back on the road soon.
Yeah, for sure. And we're coming up to the summer festival season quite quickly. What's your plan for doing some shows at festivals this summer?
We're mostly doing festivals in Finland this time because we haven't done that for 2 years now, so we kind of need to focus on the domestic market this time. But we're doing, I think, 2 or 3 festivals in Europe as well. But our plan is to do a solid European festival run in 25 because we did the festival run last year, so we kind of need to make people wait in the middle Europe and UK for us to come over again. And this time we're focusing the Finnish market because we're playing this big arena show in Finland in the end of the run of the European run. So we kind of feel that there's the momentum to play the big festivals in Finland and make a tons of money out of that. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to talk a little bit about the writing side of things as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
It's usually like it's 4 or 5 of us in the studio. And then there might be some co-writers, producers sometimes, but like usually the ideas come from us in the band, and then it can sometimes be chaotic process because we're Finnish, we're crazy, and we're loud, and sometimes like I wouldn't be lying if I said that sometimes there have been like extras or co-writers in the studio who have like just left because they couldn't take all the energy so high and chaotic it might be like even scary for some people, but that's just the Finnish way or our way of doing things. And I think like all of us have our own roles. Like one of us, it could be any one of us who brings a demo, maybe a song title, a riff, a part of the lyrics, something like that, and then we start working together from here. For example, like I'm mostly in charge of the lyrics. I start writing stuff down, just lines, and then, for example, our DJ percussions guy Alex is in charge of the production part. He's the one who sits on the computer, and he's the last one in the studio when the rest of us leave, and stuff like that. It can be chaotic, and it always starts from us. Like we write from our own perspective in our own style.
And with the both of you being vocalists on the band, how do you split the lyrics and the vocal parts between the two of you?
It's pretty natural. It depends if it's screaming or rapping, because in those cases it's mostly Nico because he has this variety in the voice to do the solid screams and growls and rapping stuff. But if it's more like clean vocals, like these traditional rock vocals, it's mostly me. But it depends a lot, and also we sing together a lot on this record and in the future as well. We're trying to make this Backstreet Boys metal thing work in the vocals as well. So there's a lot of stacking vocals, and that's pretty powerful when you go and play live.
Yeah, for sure. And the last time we had a chat was before you appeared on Eurovision. You did pretty well, coming 6th. How has the Eurovision experience affected your music and maybe your fan base since?
Well, it was a big experience, a great experience. Like I think we kind of went to that competition like without not knowing what was gonna happen. It wasn't like a bucket list thing to be in the Eurovision, but it enabled us to achieve a lot more things. Like we made a big record deal and got our first tours in the US, bigger tours in Europe. Our fan base definitely got bigger. A lot of our current fans found us through Eurovision, and it's a great and undeniable part of our history. I don't think it really affected our music. Since the beginning, we've always done what we want, exactly what we want, and that's what we're still doing. Maybe it's a bit easier because like Dark Side became such a huge hit. So now we have the hit song that brings the audience to the shows. So now we can do whatever the fuck we want. even more songwriting wise. And I don't know, like it was a great experience, and I think we really grew as performers and artists and songwriters and all that. But right now it's also being cool to focus like being this more traditional kind of rock band, like putting out singles and albums and doing tours. We've done more of that recently, and that's also felt super good.
Nice, excellent. Guys, it's been a pleasure having a catch up with you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having